Okay, quick Wednesday morning radar update. So let's just jump to the main. We're coming in today a little bit. As we know, when we see big levels in markets, it takes a double top to make a base. Sometimes it will just slice through it and melt higher. But in big areas, and I'll say, what's a big area? Well, it's going to be visible on a weekly at least, isn't it? You tend to get a little bit of flip-flopping in the markets. So that's just a double top in the transports so far. It's still bullish. Transports leader. DAX, been following the transports this week. Obviously, DAX is down today. Industrials through highs, so we've got a higher high. It's closed up there 3 times. Be nice to see the weekly close up there, but in reality, you tend to get a little bit of flip-flopping around these levels. I'll just kind of show you what I'm talking about. You get this area here, 52-week highs, and you get the big gap up, and then it sells off, and everyone goes, I told you, a double top, and then it bounces, and it just flip-flops for days to weeks. Sometimes it can flip-flop for a long time. But in this area, good stocks do good things, It's a market of stocks. We trade the stocks. We just want the markets to be bullish. The markets are bullish. Apparently they've been bearish for over a year, actually. But in the real world, they are bullish. In the world of making money, they are bullish. So back up we go. This was a first retrace, well, base retest, and then first retrace. And I think the Nasdaq sort of shows a better picture. Broke out. Here you go again, that flip-floppery around the breakout level. Then melted up. Choppy melt. First retrace. Turned into another base. Off it went. So we could be here. Or we could be we could be here, or we could be just kind of, it could just do a double top and melt. Anyway, a little bit of flip-floppery around the levels. Flip-floppery here. It would be better if it coiled. It always gives us more time in better markets, I think, when they coil up. But yeah, broke out, first retrace. That's why we looked at it there. First area of interest. We thought brick, concrete support should be down here. We can take that off the screens. Obviously, we have absolutely no clue where the markets are going next. Nobody does know. But structurally, they are still 100% bullish. Russell, just going sideways. DAX. FTSE 100 through highs. Finally, fully. This has only just gone bullish on my trend model. Only just. It's amazing how long it took that one to return to full bull. 250 and small caps, feeble bounce so far. And let's just go and have a look. Commodities are weak today. I've got a few stocks in here. In fact, there's one stock in here. In fact, I'll go to that in a minute. Let's just jump on to quickly have a look at the dollar bull, because this is the zone of interest we're looking at. And this is 52-week highs in the dollar. We've got this kind of loose base, and this is a zone of interest. You can see short-term, medium-term trends turning up. So this purple one's like the 200-day or the 10-month, and price could easily come back down to there and then move higher. It could hold where it is. It could come in a bit shallow to what I call mean trend. But this is putting the shivers through the metals market. There is no doubt about it. These moves in the metals market tend to, by the time you get the theme and it's been my theme, talking about the theme in metals being so rear view. You know, it's battery metals this, battery metals that, and then you go and have a look at what's actually happening, and there's a huge trend behind them, and they've already broke, sort of been drifting for some time. Yes, they could do another run, but at the moment, I can go through a few of these, I suppose. There's the strongest stock on the GTRS has been this one for some time in the mining stock. So I'm just going to bring up the GTRS so I can show you this one. ATYM. And that is why it's ploughing higher. It's holding relative strength. It's been the best one. A little bit reverse vol on the base, and then a big high volume swing point off the 10-month. But other than that, Kenmare's been second in command, being the second strongest one I've been looking at. I suppose SLP is probably it's kind of hanging in there, but it's pretty weak, isn't it? And look at the these other ones. They were anyway. Moving on from that, I think what I'll do is quickly go back into currencies. I'll just quickly have a look at Bitcoin, because you know I with this ProShares Bitcoin coming on the market, these can put the short-term top in a market, and there's a chance this thing. Well, everyone knows my view. I'd rather see it coil up in the right hand side here, and I think it probably will, but you know, could be a short-term top, but also just could be flip-floppery around the breakout level. Obviously, don't have a crystal ball. Not one what works anyway. Moving on from that, just have a quick look at cable. Nothing to see there. TLT, a little bit of strength. Could be a first retrace this, and treasuries could move back into the range. So let's move on from that. I'll just bring my portfolio over and just show you where I am. I'm 1.8% off all-time highs in the history of the world. Pretty good feedback from Trading Basis members. Relative strength in the portfolios of people who trade very similar to me, similar position sizing, similar sort of heat. There's a lot of us in this very strong portfolios, but just keep waking the whack-a-moles up near all-time highs. That's where you want to be. It's been a grindy market, and we just, you know, the pullback. What happened previous to this latest one was had more vol on my portfolio. Reason being, I had some huge winners. A couple of them stopped out. So big winners tend to have a volatile sort of tail on your portfolio. Moving on, let's just jump straight into the volume leaders. It's 18 minutes, say 20 past 10. We should have traded. I'll put 26% in to be on average volume, and just have a quick look through here what's moving. The investment trusts are filling the populating the list again. BSL, no forward on that one. Mears Group. ATYM, obviously, bit of news on that one probably today. REITs are actually in the screens again. Low beta sloth-like vehicles, but sometimes you'll find one what is trades, medium to higher beta. Well, tends to be a smaller, lower flow offering. And into the small caps, what did I put in? 26%. So, airport, I don't trade things with aviation air. It's rare I put any money in anything what's got anything to do with aeroplanes. CLX, obviously, we've covered this one to death, haven't we? I know I repeat myself, but this one, it was one of the leaders on the GTRS. It's not so much that now, but you know, the action is fine. It's steady on its numbers now, isn't it? Steady growth. Let's do these. A few oilers in here again. Hurricane Energy trying to, in the zone of interest, I would say. It's a recovery stock, so, you know, do your own research on that. Tick back up in the earnings per share on GATC as well. Obviously stage 3 pullback. It, you know, kind of a little stage 3 base there, but we'll count it. And it's gone into longer term sort of just consolidation. You might find it does a bit of this going forward. I'm not sure what's going on with the big tick down in the forward turnover on this one. It's like year over year it's dropping, so I don't know what that's about. ZYT. And last but not least, I'll just jump onto my own portfolio and just, you know, we've got this little zone of interest I drew on the chart of idea. This first pullback, reverse vol base, you know, takes quite a lot of power to break out. So let's just show that. You know, it's off the lows. I don't think it ever closed. Did it close there? I think it was a phantom trade. But off the lows, 40% to break out. You know, high probability on these that you will get an early retrace. Sometimes you don't. I just sit through it, you know. So this first retrace is interesting. I already have a position. Talking my own book. That one will make the screens tonight, as it did on this day here as well. If it closes up, if it doesn't, it won't. Moving on. Should leave that there. Well, let's see what else is moving in there. Yeah, not bad. 1.7% off all-time highs in the history of the world. Small caps are still sleeping. They really are. We're not seeing much action in them yet. But guess what? Nobody knows what's going to happen. And nobody ever will. Basically, if you jump around and switch methods and keep going from one, oh, momentum's on now, so you jump to momentum. You know, the guys who make money in momentum are positioning for it all the time. The guys who make money in trends you know, you've got to be in it, and then all of a sudden they move, and by the time you decide that they're moving, it's rear view. So you have to be where reward to risk exists. It's not going to be where the moon people sort of shout about these things, or where I share a hindsight chart. It's not going to be there. You know, when I share a chart of IdeaGen breaking out to new highs, that's not where you're going to find reward to risk, is it? You know, we try not to shout and scream about these things too much, but you know, where you find reward to risk zoom the chart out and you will probably see it. Okay,